ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Next to me, our leader, our fearless leader, Curter.
Hello.
Curter's here.
I am.
He's feeling good. It looks like the Royals are up early.
Yeah. I missed it. They were down, and now they're up.
Which means if you're happy, it means that Nick is not.
That's right. How about that, Nick?
I'm in a great mood. Me and Rico are loving our time here at the studio.
Well, you two get
good.
cozy and comfortable.
Yeah. I'm glad you are, because the Royals are beating your Chicago Cubs.
Oh,
I was offered tickets to go to that game.
Oh, man. Well, good thing you didn't go, because you'd be watching Brad Keller throw a nice little Friday afternoon good game here. We're in the 6th inning.
I saw Patrick Wisdom went deep, though.
Yeah, so did Salvador Perez, who is a very good baseball player, as we have figured out. Anyway, yes, here we are at McKinney's. This is a place, by the way, that we've been here basically for various events over the entirety of the last decade, so it feels appropriate that we're here today. It makes a lot of sense. We've done pregame shows here. A whole bunch of different things over the years, just events, hanging out with people down here. So we love it here, and it feels appropriate that we're at McKinney's today.
it's good to be here. It's good to be a part of the anniversary celebration, getting to meet the folks.
Yeah.
That I've heard about, and I met Lenny at the wedding, at your wedding. So I kind of had
Who
did I meet at your wedding? Did I meet Lenny at your wedding?
Oh, Lenny, yeah.
At your wedding.
Oh yeah. That's a great guy.
But having this, as this comes through, I'm a calendar guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember the year 2011 mainly because I got married in 2011.
Okay.
So this is my 10th wedding anniversary.
All right.
So I also use that as a metric to remember.
What month was that?
We got married in June.
Okay. So
which was right about the same time Nebraska was pulling out of the Big 12 and they had made their announcement or their commitment to being a part of the Big 10.
Yes. So July 1st, 2011 was the very first day that Nebraska was actually in the Big 10. I remember that day because I had completed my first year of college at Southwestern Community College in Iowa. And then I decided I wanted to not play baseball anymore and come back to Lincoln and hang out with my friends and do college. So I was a part of the very first new student orientation for the University of Nebraska in the Big Ten Conference, July 1st, 2011. And that was kind of special. That was kind of fun. I remember it feeling significant that day. It probably isn't significant at all, but there was a buzz about campus that day. And now it's been 10 years and Nebraska feels like a full-fledged member of the Big Ten, for better or for worse. We've been through some good times. We've been through some hard ones now. And those are the experiences you need to have in order to feel at home. So you're creating rivalries and stuff like that. Nebraska is definitely a Big Ten school, and they will be for a while, I think.
Is there? Well, if there's a Big Ten,
I think there will be a Big Ten. I think the Big Ten will it sounds like they're going to do the alliance with the Pac-12 and the ACC.
What do you think that means?
Well, I think it works in scheduling purposes, and I also think it works in like power purposes, voting purposes, right? We look at what the SEC did to kind of even that ship with the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, was so far out in front of everybody in terms of TV revenue and their TV deal and stuff like that. The SEC had to kind of pull even and then pull ahead, I think, a little bit of the Big Ten by basically just chopping the head off of the Big 12, which they've successfully done. And now the other conferences kind of have to work together to keep up with that. So yeah, I think the Big Ten will be around for a long time. I'm not sure if they'll add anybody. I'm not sure if that's the move. Maybe it is eventually, but I think this is now finally the safe haven that Nebraska always expected it to be when they left the Big 12 in 2010.
I'm always fascinated by it that Husker fans look at the Big Ten Conference in a side-eye, many disdain.
Well, it's the mixture of what Nebraska had always been and how they approach things, and I still don't think it's completely comfortable. But the Big Ten has a certain way that they go about, that their members look, and Nebraska hasn't been that. They've been a little bit more of a, gunslinger in the Wild West of college football. And I think now that the success hasn't necessarily followed them to the Big Ten, they've kind of holstered the guns a little bit. And it's time to, just realize that you're a part of this whole thing too. Not necessarily to stand by and say, well, everything's fine, but, make your opinions known or whatever, as Nebraska certainly did leading up to last year. But, they're going to be here. This is where they are, and you can't afford to ruffle that many feathers.
Who do you think, or how do you think all of this ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 conversation, the alliance can hurt or it can help? Depending on how they put it together.
Yeah, no, I think it helps. I mean, basically what we're talking about is from a money perspective, and it creates more opportunity for revenue for the Big Ten to put on premier non-conference games. That's basically what we're talking about. I don't know competitively. I think it's the best case scenario, because what I dislike about all this conference realignment is that you lose the heart and soul of college football, which is some of these rivalries and these campuses always playing each other. So I think this signals to me that there might not be as much of a shift as far as schools going to different leagues than I initially thought there would be, which I think is a good thing. I think that's super positive. Competitively, I don't, we've seen, like, take Nebraska as a lesson over the last 10 years. It's like, yeah, I mean, Nebraska certainly makes more money in the Big Ten.
Yep.
It's great that way, and it's a home for them, but it's been uncomfortable to try to get to try to feel at home. The rivalries aren't built overnight. That stuff takes time. So take Nebraska as an example there, and Texas and Oklahoma will find that out pretty quickly, I think, in the SEC. But we'll see what happens.
I don't think Texas and Oklahoma have a clue about what they're walking into.
It doesn't feel like it, no.
Right?
I don't think that Oklahoma becomes Nebraska all of a sudden, but it's difficult, not only from a competitive standpoint, but from a getting comfortable, year over year. What do these games mean to your fan base? And how do you approach things compared to the rest of the conference? Now, I will say this: Texas and Oklahoma feel like SECs. They approach, it seems like, globally college football like SEC schools do.
Fair.
Where Nebraska, I'm not sure, approaches football like Big Ten schools do or did in 2011.
Fair.
So that's probably a better fit from that perspective, but we'll see.
Where do you think Texas and Oklahoma, who would you compare them to in the SEC? Who will they become in the SEC? Are they the Michigan of the SEC? Are they the Indiana of the SEC? What do you think happens?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they lay it out in terms. I assume they'll kind of just drop the divisions. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's been talked about yet, but and then do some sort of round robin, because if you put them both in the West, then all of a sudden the West just becomes the ultimate juggernaut division. There's no way anybody's getting out of that unscathed. I guess
Seriously.
Maybe with the exception of Alabama, as they've done. But
Alabama would be in the East, though.
They're in the West now. I'm not sure how they're going to make it work, but I don't know. I think they'll be a good team. Texas is an interesting one because I don't think they fully understand. They don't have their feet fully planted, right? Oklahoma, I think, will be fine because they know what they're doing, but Texas is a weird one for sure. I'm not sure what they look like in 5 years. I'm not sure. I mean, they say that they're not going until 2025, but it feels like, I don't know. If I had to guess, that'd probably be the last year in the Big 12 for them.
I think the check gets written, and I think it's done. 10 years worth. Think back to where Nebraska was 10 years ago and what led to them being in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Right? That the events that season of 2011 had several different stories within it. You have a better recollection of 2011 than I do, but
yeah.
I remember
the Big Ten,
right? I knew what that year was going to look like. The great start. You start the season off in the top, top 20. You move up to as high as 8 or 9, depending on who you talk to, and then. So Chattanooga at home, 47 dominant. Fresno State, much more of a tussle than it should have been.
Yeah, Amir Abdullah's debut. He takes back a kick in that game, which is one of his signature moments, I think, of his career in his freshman year. Dreads Amir. we missed Dreads Amir. That was a lot of fun.
That was good. Then the Huskies come to Memorial.
Yep.
And you put up 51. Huskers put up 51. And I thought, okay, I don't know what Husker fans thought, but nationally it was, oh, good. Nebraska's good again.
Yeah.
Nebraska's good again. And then take us into game 4.
Yeah, so they go out to Wyoming and they have that game, and that was a fun trip, I think, for Nebraska fans. We were just talking about that a couple weeks ago, just like the 2-for-1 Group of 5 non-conference games. That was a fun trip because it's kind of right next door. And then so you're 4-0 going into conference play, and you have your first trip. And I went to this game in Madison, Wisconsin. It was college game day. We did not know yet how good the 2011 Wisconsin team was going to be with Russell Wilson as their quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Nebraska was pretty thoroughly early in the game. It was close and fun, if I remember correctly, but then they got beat up pretty good, and they got a pretty stiff introduction to what the Big Ten life was kind of going to be like. That was a crazy game. Nebraska, they told their fans to wear black so they could look separate from the Wisconsin fans. Yeah. And they definitely traveled well to that game. Depending on who you asked, you were maybe not treated particularly well.
What happened
in your first trip I had a great time.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
But there were some that didn't. Maybe you could talk to Gaskins about that one.
All right.
There were some that didn't have a good time in Nebraska's loss to Wisconsin, and and that's where the season kind of took a little bit of a turn. Then I think they come back with Ohio State the next week, and that was one of the more memorable games in the Big Ten era.
Help me feel what it would be like for Nebraska to beat Ohio State.
So
walk me through how that would feel.
Okay, so this is a little bit different. This is not Ohio State as we know it right now.
Okay.
This is not Urban Meyer's Ohio State. This is a good Ohio State team that I believe was coached by Luke Fickell interimly that year, I want to say.
Okay.
And after the whole Tressel thing went down, so they're a year away still from getting Urban Meyer, and Braxton Miller is going Braxton Miller. He's doing his thing. Nebraska can't contain him. They can't really do anything against him. Braxton gets hurt. And a guy by the name of Joe Bowserman comes in. He throws the ball into the 35th row a couple times. Levante David forces a few fumbles and, picks one up, scoops it. Rex Burkhead, I think, scores the game-winning touchdown with under 2 minutes to go, and Nebraska triumphs against Ohio State in their first Big Ten win ever, which didn't look like it was going to be a Big Ten win at that. For many moments of that game. After the game, this is a fun storyline as well. This is one that will, if you take it all the way to 2014, it carries. We didn't know it at the time, but Bo Pelini was secretly recorded after the game. Saying that he was harsh on the fans for leaving early, and that was later heard in his career. That tape was later heard in his career.
So they didn't hear it immediately following the game. They heard it later.
Years later.
Okay.
Yeah. So they won, and that was a wild 2-game stretch. I do remember that one.
You follow that up, and I thought, okay, that season turned. You beat Ohio State, and then you travel to Minnesota and get a win.
Yep. Michigan State comes to town. That's a top 10 team, and Nebraska puts on one of the best defensive performances that I've seen in actually a long time. Kirk Cousins, I believe, is their quarterback,
yep.
and he could do nothing that day. This is a start of a fun little mini rivalry with Nebraska and Michigan State. And they played each other each year until they split over into East-West. It was Legends and Leaders were the divisions at the time.
Wow.
And Nebraska had a dominant defensive effort, won the game 24. It was 11 a.m. game. We were just getting used to those, I think, at the time. And They won 24-3, and I think they got back in the top 10 after that. It felt pretty good. Let's see.
It's 6-1.
Yeah, they got back in the top 10.
It's 6-1.
So they're number 9 in the country when Northwestern comes to town. And you want to talk about learning about the Big Ten. I think Nebraska probably took Northwestern a little lightly that day. And Kane Coulter was the star of the show. Nebraska lost and was upset by Northwestern, I think 28-25. That did not sit very well. I remember that game. It's like, what is happening? Northwestern? What is going on? And we learned a lot about Northwestern in the coming years.
You know how I feel about Northwestern. I just think that I don't know how they win.
Yeah, look, I'm with you, man.
I don't know. You're 6-1 now. You dropped to 6-2, and you have a chance. You then beat Penn State.
Yeah. Well, there's a backstory to that game. This is the week that the whole Sandusky thing comes to light. And it's a really emotional scene there, and Nebraska finds a way to get the job done on the road. So that was kind of like this emotional boost, I think, for the team, and especially coming off of the loss to Northwestern the week before. So that was kind of crazy. Yeah, 2011 was a wild ride. And they went to the big house and got smoked, I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to, I can't, I'm trying to wrap my heart around how Husker fans got through that.
No.
Like that year had to be just an emotional hurricane.
Yeah.
Like to go from.
Oh, that was about that was every season. I mean, in the Big Ten until Mike. So 11, 12, 13, 14, they were basically all like that. I mean, they would beat top 25 teams. In some cases, they would house top 25 teams. And then, you have one game against Ohio State and Wisconsin, and you just get completely dismantled and destroyed, and you're shelled. And then you come back a week later and you'll beat a top 25 team. And it's like, hey, we might be back.
And right.
That was every season for 4 years.
You go to the big house.
Yeah.
You no show. And then you get Iowa.
Yeah.
And you finish, you beat Iowa.
So this is a different time too. And think back to 2011 and how we viewed Iowa. Obviously, a lot of things have changed since. And Iowa was like, I remember thinking from the fan base, or my thinking at the time was like, yeah, okay, it makes a lot of sense to play Iowa on Black Friday, but like it's Iowa, it's Iowa. This isn't Nebraska, Oklahoma. This isn't Nebraska, Colorado. It's Iowa. And Nebraska won the first couple games in that series, and it was only after Iowa started winning that people kind of started to. It's like, all right, well, this makes a lot of sense. We don't like these guys. we don't like these guys at all. But that was not known. I'm super happy. By the way, I mean I know Nebraska hasn't won. They've lost 6 times in a row now to Iowa. But like, what has come out of that is a really fun border state rivalry.
Who's it fun for?
It's fun for me. Like I know Nebraska doesn't win when they play, hasn't won when they play them, but I love the idea that we hate them. Like that's great. I didn't think Nebraska would have that in the Big Ten. I think initially people thought that it was going to be Wisconsin, and it hasn't been that. I think that game has lost a little bit of juice that it used to have. You're always going to get up for Wisconsin because they're kind of the standard in the division, but that game has lost a little bit of juice, and the Iowa game has totally picked up steam since then. It's really great.
Describe to me this town if wins over Iowa, Penn State. Well, you won't play Penn State.
Right.
Ohio State. Any win against a team on this list that they defeated in 2011, what is this town going to be like? You
beat Ohio State. So
win over Michigan, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Win over Ohio State, win over Iowa, just for grins and giggles.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be pretty nice.
Like,
if you told me that Nebraska would beat Ohio State, Minnesota, and Iowa this year, I'd say they probably went 10-2. I mean,
I heard you say that you've kind of gone between 8 wins and 9 wins.
Yeah. No. 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So between 7 and 8. Help me go through it real quick before we go to break.
Okay.
So who do you think that they will definitely beat?
Fordham, Buffalo, Illinois, Purdue, and
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Yep.
So that's your 5 that you feel pretty comfortable.
Pretty comfortable. Yeah.
Right. Lock it up.
If they don't beat Illinois, all bets are off, though. I'll bet.
And people get mad when you say that.
No, that's
like,
real.
People get mad when you say that. Go, oh, wait a minute. You
Yeah.
want all those
No, that's a real deal. Yeah.
Okay, yep. Which teams do you think they have less than 20% chance of beating?
Ohio State and Oklahoma.
Are the only two that you feel like
They're not winning those games.
it's going to take? Yeah. So you say they're just not going to win.
I don't think so. You could carve out a scenario, but it's pretty narrow.
Okay.
It's pretty narrow.
Okay. And so you need 2 or 3 more wins
Out of
the rest of your show. So you've got
Northwestern,
Northwestern,
Michigan,
Iowa,
Wisconsin,
and who we forget?
Minnesota.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay.
Did
So
we lose the speakers in here, by the way?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Seems a little quiet.
Yeah, it does. It's fine.
Yeah. So you think of that group, they can get 3? They can go 3-2.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be. I mean. Yeah. So I think they could get Iowa. I think Iowa's gettable, as it is every year. Wisconsin's on the tough end of that. Minnesota, I believe, is on the tough end of that this year. But I think if things fall their way, the 2 games that'll end up meaning the most as far as swing games will be back-to-back in October, Northwestern and Michigan. And I think Nebraska can win them both. But if they don't, watch out. If they do, also watch out. You know, if they split 1-1, I think you're treading water, which is okay.
I try to stay out of the prediction thing. I mean, to me, you line up, give your best shot.
Yeah.
That
that means something. Just momentum in the just in the season. They need to feel good about something.
Illinois is
so
I'm
huge.
like you. Like it's just I'm sorry, but that's just it.
Yeah.
Like that's the one that will detail the rest of the season.
Yeah, and then you're pretty much locked in at 3-0. I mean, no guarantees, but you feel good about 3-0. Go to Oklahoma, you see what happens. You roll the dice out there, and then you come back for Michigan State and Northwestern on the road and Michigan at home.
I did have a buddy go, yeah, even if you go to Norman, if you play well and come back, you're going to lose to Michigan State because it's a letdown game. It's a gotcha game. And I went, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't put that evil.
I don't know what to think about them yet.
Don't put that evil on me.
They were such a weird team last year where they looked horrendous, but then they beat two top 10 teams. Now one of them was Northwestern, who is like, are they ever a top 10 team? That's hard to say, or maybe it's top 15 or something like that. But that's a weird team. And look, Nebraska, they can harken back a little bit to when they played Colorado in 2018 when Mel Tucker was the coach there and see how he's building it a little bit. I know they're pretty big up front, and they're always going to play good defense because it's Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
I going back down memory lane again, that little series with Michigan State was always fun. It felt like all those games were super competitive and entertaining, and Nebraska has, I think, 2 of the best wins over the last 2 coaching staffs have both been against Michigan State teams.
9-6,
9-6 and 18, and Mike Riley's win in 2015 for a college football playoff bound Michigan State team.
I was here. Becky and I were here for Michigan State. It's when we made the decision to move here.
The snow game,
because we said if we can make it through the snow game, and the town doesn't lose it, we can live here. And
did the town lose it?
It absolutely didn't. Like we came down, the Haymarket was packed. It was rocking. Like all the bars were full, even after the game in a snowstorm.
I remember I was extremely confident going into that week. I just thought Nebraska's, offensively was playing too well. And I think they were borderline top 25. Maybe they just bumped out of the top 25. And then I woke up that morning and it was windy and it was going to snow or sleet. And I was like, this is not good. I don't know what Scott Frost's offense looks like on ice, but I don't want to see it. And they ended up somehow piecing together a performance that won them that game.
We sat out in it. We sat out in the snow.
Sure, yeah.
And there was probably 4 or 5 inches of snow over top of us, and we still didn't feel miserable.
Yeah.
So we were
it was very warm in there that day. Yeah,
we're looking forward to it. Anyway, good stuff, Curter. Appreciate it. We're here at McKinney's Irish Pub.
I'd love to recount the early days of the Big Ten.
Well, it fell so cleanly at 10 years.
Yeah.
That you now know more about who the Huskers are,
Definitely.
whether they like what they see or not.
No doubt.
Like, you know what it is. You have a better understanding of college football and how the suits work.
Yeah.
Right? You got a better clearance.
It's just time and experience, man. You can't replicate that.
So you guys have been invited. Come on by. We'll be here till 6:00. A lot of the old heads will come through. I'm going to pass you and Mark the microphone.
Okay.
And you guys go through your collection of guys, but we'll do that. I'm going to have Mark come join us next. We'll talk a little bit about this roster of former hosts. See what he knows. See what he remembers. We'll do that coming up after the break.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
I sure am, Charlie. Great to talk to you again.
Andy, I know you're selling a lot of cars right now, but I hear you still have a lot of cars available.
We do, Charlie. In fact, we still have over 500 new 2021 Hondas to choose from in stock or on the way, with 0% APR financing available on select models.
What about new 2022 Hondas, Andy?
We actually have quite a few in stock already, and they're arriving every day.
Now, I'm going to assume since you're selling a lot of new cars, you have some great trade-ins available too. How is the selection of pre-owned?
It's the largest selection of pre-owned we've ever had, Charlie, with over 160 to choose from. People can choose from just about any make and model you can imagine.
Thanks, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Take a look at your backyard. Does it feel like something is missing? You're right. Now is the perfect time to get an above-ground swimming pool from Bonsall Pool and Spa. Above-ground pools require less space than in-ground pools, are temporary structures if you ever choose to move, and are low maintenance. Plus, you'll never have to worry about the kids getting bored in the summertime anymore. Visit bonsallpool.com to schedule a pool service or visit them at 33rd and Highway 2. Bonsall Pool and Spa.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 year. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning, and then another round of storms will be possible late this afternoon into this evening and could hold a bit of a severe weather threat. We should top out near 90, drop to 64 for the low tonight, much cooler tomorrow and comfortable with a high of around 83. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Shaper. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Take a look at your backyard. Does it feel like something is missing? You're right. Now is the perfect time to get an above-ground swimming pool from Bonsall Pool and Spa. Above ground pools require less space than in-ground pools, are temporary structures if you ever choose to move, and are low maintenance. Plus, you'll never have to worry about the kids getting bored in the summertime anymore. Visit bonzalpool.com to schedule a pool service or visit them at 33rd and Highway 2. Bonzal Pool and Spa.
You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
10th anniversary celebration, McKinney's Irish Pub. Ninth and P. We'll be here till 6 o'clock. For me, it's kind of cool because I'll get to see some of the combinations and have conversations in a different way than I've been familiar with. I wanted to ask, Mark joins us, Connor is with us. I wanted to ask you guys, what does 10 years, no matter what you put into it, what does 10 years mean to you?
Connor, do you think we'd ever get here?
It was hard to imagine. It was definitely hard to imagine at some point. Yeah. I wasn't there from the very beginning, but
when did you jump in?
I guess we were 3 or 4.
2014.
We were
right?
just babies. Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
2013 for me.
Yeah.
So we were.
Same with Welch, right? Welch was hired.
Yeah, he and I joined the same week.
1 week
I
before.
was 2 days before Welch. So I get to hold that over him forever. 2 days before Welch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think back then we had, as weird as it sounds, much of a vision.
We were just trying to,
just trying to get through it.
Keep our head above water, make our mark.
Yeah.
Which is be the name of my show someday.
Yeah. Or the grind.
Thank you.
I was going to say
the dream.
Snickers and Doodles.
Well,
the only appropriate name.
That would make a good show too.
Yeah.
Dibs on Snickers. I don't know who Doodles is going to be in that one.
Okay, let's go ahead and take it. Put it through.
Lance is on the line. Hey, Lance.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going really good, man. You've listened longer than I've been here, I think.
Yes, I have, and I haven't called in a while. Life does get hectic, and I just throughout the history of the station, I've listened to everyone from Lanny, who was on earlier today, who I think was incredibly talented as a young guy, to you, Connor, who we've been able to watch grow on air. Jake Bachhoven used to answer the phone. When I first was calling, Mark Ardenweiler was answering my calls, and he's achieved some really great things. Mike Welch, who was amazing, and John Gaskins and Stevens, and then the late Adrian Fiala. A lot of big things at the Ticket. I miss a lot of you, including Welch and then Gaskins, and I'm going to show up down there and come say hi. But keep it up, guys, and onward and upward.
Thanks, Lance.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Lance.
the call. Yeah, that means a lot. I've mentioned this a lot over the last couple of weeks. Just there have been people like Lance who have listened longer than I've been in, and I came in relatively early.
Yeah, you're an old timer.
Now,
sure.
now I am. Yeah. And
I like that. I like that Lance said even Welch. Even Welch.
And that's crazy to think about, man. And we just had a founding member walk in the door there, Jake Bogus. So
shout out Jake Bogus.
It's crazy to think about. It's it's only 10 years. We don't pat ourselves on the back too much, but it's a good time to stop and reflect. Sure.
From the text line, Trent says, "At what point did you guys realize you had something special? When did the audience start to grow?"
I always have my moment, and I think ours is the same, Mark.
Probably. We were actually talking about this down at the bar earlier, and there are two. So I'll let you go first, and I'll say the other one.
Nebraska basketball makes a run to the NCAA tournament in 2014, or March of 2014, and the town came together like, I'd never really seen, because we weren't around for Husker football glory days. We have only seen
we've only seen the Husker football in the Big Ten, which has not been glorious.
We've seen one conference championship game in football, and that did not go so well. We don't talk about that game. And we've seen Nebraska basketball be a 4 seed in the Big tournament once, and that was super
they
fun.
made a run in the Big Ten tournament, but not as a 4 seed.
No, not as a 4 seed. They came from Wednesday night and that. But it's really cool. I think that's why the want and need for Nebraska basketball to be good is just because we tasted it a little bit in 14, and all the pieces are in place now. That's always the one I go back to, Mark.
It was. That was a big moment for us, and I think we were kind of there first, on that basketball train. We were covering it in a real legitimate way. We had post game, we had pregame, we were doing all that. We were down at Barry's in packed houses doing pregame shows. Connor was an intern at the time, showing up, tossing out shirts. Yeah. And we were doing all that before they made the run, and I think that was important. We were there, and then they made the run.
I was just talking to Welch about that. It just right now, I mean, it's a similar position, I'd say. I mean, I think we're well positioned when they
when they made their World Series runs, we were there. We were interviewing their play-by-play guys.
Talking Royals every day.
We were doing bus trip down to Kaufman, and so that I think helped us find listeners. People that were tuning in for Royals games tuned in and said, "Oh wait, you guys are doing 9 hours a day of local programming?"
That's when we started to realize the potential, I think, and that's only
the reach it can have.
That's only 6-7 years ago. So there's.
We do like to talk about this like it's this massive history.
It's only 6-7 years ago.
So much room for growing.
There is. That's right, DP.
That's
where DP comes in.
Shh. don't let that secret out. Don't put that out in the universe. Mark, question for you says, I guess I never really thought about it, but why hasn't Mark ever been in a show? Or has he been in a show and I just wasn't around for it?
Good question.
Been an everyday listener for about 4 years now.
Good question, Mark.
Wow. No, I have never had a show other than filling in with you, Connor, sometimes when Tom was on an extended leave for a little bit. That's my experience doing show.
Yeah, extended leave.
Can I say I'm not a sports guy? Is that an okay thing to say? It's not
It's
entirely.
never stopped anybody else from talking.
and it's not entirely true.
That's never been a reason.
It's not entirely true, but in the context of our office, I am the least sportsy guy in the office.
Yeah.
I would say it's not what I desire to do. It's not where my passion lies. I loved being the guy behind the scenes, and I will tell you, I have never been as happy as when I would tune into the station and think to myself, this station sounds like me. My fingerprints are all over this station, and it sounds like me. And that
Really cool. Yeah.
No, I was trying to figure out. Ross says, doesn't Rico work there? When you said that you're not really.
Rico's a sports guy.
That's quite
no comment.
big.
What he says is our control.
Well, we don't control. There's nothing about Rico we control. There's literally nothing that we control about it. Eyes forward and eyes up. Where do you want to go with it?
Where do I want to go? I mean, I want to be your Lincoln's go-to for real, unbiased, unfiltered sports talk. I want to be the place where you go to, when there's an investigation happening, you come to us. When you're getting off of work and you want to be in a good mood when you get home, you come to us. When you want to start your day and be in the right mode when you get to work, you come to us. I want to be your friends. I want to be your sports stop. I want to be all of that. I don't want you to leave the dial. I want you to keep it on 93.7. Then you get to the office and you tune into the app, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah.
You go to lunch and you're talking about what you heard on Happer and Schaefer. You're talking about the guests that are coming up on One-on-One with DP. You're talking about what's going to happen on your drive home, listening in the evening hours. You want to go really far in the future? You want to talk about the recap that's going to come from 10 to midnight.
Look at
I want all of that. I want the sports you're going to hear. The football game you're going to hear on the high school game on Friday night. I want that.
Look at him. He's running out of breath.
Hang on.
There's too many things.
Let me take a drink.
He's all emotional. Look at him.
Good things. Good things is what I see in the future.
Just want to hang out with a bunch of cool people.
I just want to hang out.
Just want to hang out. Just drink a couple beers, sit around the bar, have a good time.
Who do we have to talk to make sure we get more of these beer shows?
Oh, that's
I think there should be
Hang on.
its own hour or so of us drinking beer in various bars around Lake.
Yeah.
Like, is that possible?
Did you? I'm sorry. I was helping someone with a
He's
t-shirt.
talking about beer.
Talking about drinking
So
beers.
a beer show, more beer shows.
I had one of those once.
Yeah, but I mean,
Connor,
like,
you were there.
like on air though.
It wasn't a show.
It wasn't
like
a show.
on air, like actually on air,
It was-
where people don't
it
have to
existed for
look
3
for it.
years.
Like they don't have to look for it. It's there. They know how to find it. Who do we have to talk to?
I don't know. You just show up places. They usually, they'll usually have you out if you want to just sit around.
If you want a show with me in it, and I don't know that anybody's clamoring for that, but if
They're
that
asking
is
for it.
if that is what you want,
That's what they're
that's the
asking
way to do it.
Can we do cake and beer show?
Cake and beer.
Yeah, cake and beer show with Mark.
Yeah. How often do you want it? 14 hours a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in.
3 hours every week at least.
3 hours every week.
Right? Like I'm in. Like why would that?
That's
not-
about how long it takes me to make a cake. Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
We'll do it real time.
the text line says yes.
Okay.
So I think.
I don't know how that fits our format exactly, but
Well, you're the boss, so I think the format fits whatever way you want it to fit.
Cleveland Mike says Mark's gone full Jerry Maguire mission statement speech. That was really great.
I've never seen Jerry Maguire.
Perfect.
Yeah.
See,
Not a sports guy.
Not a sports guy. That's not even a movie guy. Like you, that takes
Yeah, I
you
know.
out of the movie.
That's a big hole for me. I've got a lot of holes. That's a big one.
Beer and Huskers, Kelsey says. Beer and Huskers.
Can we just do beer?
Yeah.
Again,
We already got the Huskers.
Kelsey says, please do a beer show. Please.
Look,
Actually, type the words please.
look. Call your favorite brewery.
Mhm.
I like it, whatever it is. I'm a fan of it. So I will go there and I will do a show. Yeah.
Taylor says, I just want to listen to sports radio. Have four 25-ounce beers.
And I
And
feel
fine.
fine.
There was somebody. I don't know if I should say this. There was somebody who texted in the middle of early break today, out of the blue. They weren't even talking about it, but someone texted into early break and says, "Jake, I saw you after the concert. You were not fine."
4 beers. And they called him out. It was like, you had 4 beers, dude. We got to get Jake with more steak. That's like that's the only way to fix that. So
Improves the atmosphere. Yeah.
he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember.
No, he felt fine.
He
I
had
asked
fun.
him about it Monday morning. He was like, "Yeah, I can tell you until about 8:30."
He felt fine.
And then after that, I got nothing. So anyway, gentlemen, thank you, kind sir. I'd like to. I'm going to ask a favor of Curtis.
Okay.
Will you and your former co-host, running buddy,
Which one?
the one that's
Yeah, there are so many here to choose from. Holy cow!
See, here's the thing.
So bird.
Here's the thing. That's the only response.
How many microphones do we
Like
have?
that's
Yeah.
the only response there could be. I'm going to hand over the headset. You tag in one of your co-host
One of them.
partners,
One of you
and
choose.
that'll get us through to the top of the hour when we get into old school. How about that?
All right, cool.
More from McKinney's Irish Pub.
There's another one.
After the break.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
We're going to the West Coast here to talk to Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
As far as this turnover issue, I mean,
Yes.
it's hard. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that that's been a major problem the last decade. Now, Sip, Jake, I mean, you guys will appreciate this one. The offense has been like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Mike Schaefer here with 5-star child care provider Lee Beecher from Bubbles and Blocks. Let's start with what makes Bubbles and Blocks special.
We have 3 beautiful locations in Lincoln that provide the safety, security, and reliability you need while also bringing a family feel to each classroom at every location.
I also hear some congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Yes, we just won the Lincoln Choice Award for Best Daycare and Preschool for the 3rd year in a row.
What should people do if they want to join the Bubbles and Blocks family?
Call to set up a tour to enroll your child today, or you can visit bubblesandblocks.com to apply to join our team.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska athletics. With prime grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hi, Andy Neal of Cartridge World. We are not a big box store that sells everything and specializes in nothing. Cartridge World is your local expert when it comes to streamlining office printing and scanning. No big box can match our proven no-cost lease program. We customize solutions that supply you with multifunction printers and all the required service just for buying Cartridge World ink and toner at a 30% savings. Call for a no-cost consultation, 464-3455, or go online to cartridgeworld.com.
Get in, get out, and get your hands on a great career. Did you know Southeast Community College offers short-term training in almost 20 programs of study? That means you can get your certificate at SCC and get right to work without spending years in school. You can train at one of our 3 campus locations in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, or our 6 learning centers across Southeast Nebraska. If you want to find your next step, visit southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
If you're feeling past your prime with low libido, fatigue, or weight gain, you might be experiencing low T. At Vitalize Health, they can help treat low T and get you back on track. Rami and Jackie have focused their careers on whole body wellness and can help with everything from testosterone replacement to Botox to help the outside match the inside and regain your youthful appearance. Vitalize Health does accept insurance. Call them today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
So Planet Fitness is only $10 a month with no commitment. Pretty sweet. That's $10 a month to be in a thumbs up emoji place. Yes, I just said thumbs up emoji. It means that you're in the judgment-free zone. That's $10 a month. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
2 Lincoln locations, just east of 27th and Folkways and 48th and Van Dorn.
Annual membership fee applies. Participating locations only. See club for details.
Dancing at weddings, walking the dog, playing with grandchildren. These are the small moments that make life great. They're also the moments that chronic pain steals from us. Don't let chronic pain stop you or a loved one from living life. At MD Pain, we wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. We offer the most up-to-date treatments from Nebraska's leading physicians. Don't let pain stand in your way. Call MD Pain.
You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. We joked before the break that it's a bit of a running joke that I have a bunch of former co-hosts. It's not really a joke; it's the truth. You can't see it on the stream because they don't happen to be in the shot. But we have 2 of them here: Laney Holstein, Michael Snow. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! All right. Where's your cowboy hat?
It's actually in the car.
Why did you not bring it in?
Yeah,
I don't know. They're easy to mess up. They're very easy to mess up.
Next break.
I parked a little bit away. Maybe. Let's see how much Bud
It's
Lights I
Lincoln,
have.
Nebraska. How far away could you have parked?
Far enough.
Do you guys miss doing radio?
A little bit.
Connor, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How was your wedding?
Wait.
pretty
We just
good.
went from, do you guys miss doing radio to, how was your
I've been
wedding?
wanting to ask him this for a while. I'm glad
It was a
you
good time.
Yeah, was it?
It was a good time.
How many of your former co-hosts did you, in fact, invite?
Not very many. That was an oversight. That is, how many former co-hosts of mine were there?
No, we're just invited because I didn't even get that part.
So is Schaefer count because he's a current co-host?
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
No, he'll count. Let's count him too.
So 4
percentage of former co-hosts who got the invite.
Tom 5. Yeah.
So
not
5 of-
percentage. I've worked
5
with
of
way
6.
more people than you guys think.
5 of 6 real co-hosts.
Connor's a big deal, okay? He's worked with a lot of people.
No, I know. I didn't get invited to his wedding.
Very prestigious
Brett
career.
didn't show up.
But he got the invite.
He did get the invite.
Oh no, Brett went to another wedding.
Yeah.
Like his the Happer wedding was the lesser.
In Omaha.
Should have taken his invite.
On the same day. Man. Yeah. We should have squeezed you in. I will admit that on the back end.
Squeezed me in.
How does it feel that Brett Kane was like just put you as the second best?
I don't know. He was supposed to be in it.
Supposed to be in
just
your
like,
wedding?
Yeah, that's right.
And he was just like, no, I'm out. Totally,
Was
completely.
he just an usher?
No, I didn't have any issues.
And we didn't show up at all.
No, I mean, but like, was he supposed
No,
to?
he was supposed to be like in it.
Like,
Wow.
like
and then I had to
groomsmen.
grab Mark.
Had to grab
Another
Mark.
afterthought.
Yeah.
Throw him in.
Yeah.
Hi,
Mark
Snow.
Mark was invited in the first place, though.
Is that Rico?
That is Rico.
Hi, Rico.
I miss you,
How are
Snow.
you? I miss you too.
So how sour are you on a scale of like?
Seems like a lot.
So I'll
to
be
10.
honest. When I first saw it, I was like, "Whoa, did I just miss this in the mail?" Because I thought I legitimately. So I went and checked my mailbox just in case,
Yeah.
and there was like nothing there. I texted my parents. I'm like, "Hey, did we get in? Did I get a?"
Wait, so you
wedding
knew what was
invite?"
going on?
Well, I mean, they posted about it all the time. I was just waiting for the invite. So I texted my parents. I'm like, Did you guys miss a wedding invite or something?
Wow.
Brutal.
Like from who? And I'm like, just this kid I talked to for 2 years for 4 hours a day. I don't know. Like, I feel like.
So I didn't think we were that cool.
Yeah, apparently not. Brutal, man.
So I saw the pictures. I'm like, this looked fun.
Look, there was a
It was fun.
there was a small number, and we had to, we had to meet the number, and that's where it was.
I love that you're doing this on air, Snow. This is
Well, I
this is
told him
good
I wanted
strategy.
a formal apology on air.
Yo,
And you
yeah,
never
I
did that.
apologize.
No, you didn't.
No, I mean I am apologizing right now.
Well, that's
Yes.
not formal.
Yeah.
That's not formal.
What should I say?
I don't know, like dearest.
Address
What's her name?
Michael.
Yes.
I'm sorry I didn't invite you to my
Not
wedding.
forgiven.
Most of my other co-hosts went. Former co-hosts
Or at
went.
least we're invited.
Or at least we're
That's
invited.
fair,
And you were. I don't even have an excuse. I just sincerely apologize.
It's okay.
Okay.
That'll work.
We're over it now.
I'll buy you a beer.
Deal. Well, okay.
I'll buy you a beer some other time.
Deal.
Cool.
Okay. Well, got that out of the way.
Yeah.
You guys miss doing radio?
Back to that. Dude, I kind of do like sometimes I'll listen to you guys on the stream and I'll think like, man, I'll have like a take, you know what I'm saying? Like there'll be something I'll like want to say. And sometimes I text you guys and it comes in too slow and it doesn't get in. And I'm like, man, like I wish I was there to just freaking like go in there and get it.
Yeah, I miss it a ton. I mean, it was a blast. We literally just sat down and had fun.
You're
for
back
3
to being
hours.
TV boy.
I'm TV boy again. Yeah.
Kind of.
Halfway.
Half TV.
Half TV.
I do get the Cowboy Channel though.
Do you watch it ever?
No.
Why not?
I'm not interested
you're
in
on
it.
I listen to your stream daily.
Are you interested in what's going on with Nebraska football?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't care about what's going on in the rodeo. That's why I don't watch the Cowboy Channel.
It's fun. Just give it a shot.
I've watched it. I watched it briefly before, and I was like, I know a guy on there, and
That was that.
they weren't on there, and then I got disappointed and left.
How much have you learned about like if you watched a cowboy event
I know everything.
or a
about the
rodeo?
I know everything about the rodeo.
Yeah. So like
everything.
do you keep like a box score or like what's the
No, I mean not. We have like these sheets where it says everybody and like the stock that they're riding, and then you can like fill in the score if you want. But I don't do that.
like do you get people giving you crap
Go away, Connor.
because you're not a rural guy?
Yeah.
Like you didn't grow up
I
on
hide
a ranch?
it relatively well at the rodeo because I'm not that obviously. Like I have all like the gear you wear to a rodeo, and I don't look like super out of place when I wear it. But
Oh, I've seen you.
You're not burly enough.
I look. You know how many times I'm not bragging. I get asked if I ride bulls at least once a rodeo because they're all my size. So
Interesting.
this is what Scott Frost said.
That's what
at
Scott
media
Frost
days.
said,
He
yeah.
said I should be in the rodeo.
Rodeo clown.
It's
Interesting.
the best coaching he's ever done.
In particular.
is telling me I should be in the rodeo.
Okay.
Rodeo clown in particular.
I love the variety of careers that some of us who are going to be on the air here today are like have gone into.
Let's do
You
a little
sold out,
history
just went
there.
corporate.
I sold out. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we have a lawyer, we have a rodeo clown, we
Teacher.
have a teacher, we have an actor.
Actor. Yep.
We have we have a radio host, basically, a radio host / like entertainer. Like I'm talking about Gaskins, who like runs
I
the
know.
Sioux Falls Canaries.
A in-game something.
Yeah, he'll explain that.
That's
to
pretty
you.
related. Yeah, that's
that's
not too
close.
far of a
Sports,
jump.
Yeah, he's going to explain that to you when he comes on. Brett's still a radio host, even though he's not here.
Oh, he didn't show up again.
Yeah,
We could have carpooled, man.
I know. I don't know what his excuse was.
Well, I think he thinks that his show is more important than this show.
Well, he does a very early morning show. He could easily
get
here.
He
could have got here by the time his show ended this morning.
Yeah.
He could have been here already.
I mean, come on.
There's
There's also 3 people on that show. So if he leaves, they still have 2. It's not like they can't do the show.
Yeah.
And he's so clearly the third person on that show.
Exactly right. They added him later,
Yeah, he could have been here, no
Afterthought.
problem.
Yeah.
He had to do his drunk takes, so he couldn't leave for
Drunk
that.
takes.
His best thing he's
It's
ever
all
done.
drunk. It's all about drunk takes. You get a load of this guy.
You invited him to your wedding?
Right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy didn't come though.
Neither did I.
I should have taken the safe bet, and
I'd have been there.
Invited Snell.
You could have had a rodeo clown
I know.
at your wedding.
You could have had somebody who works for the rodeo at your wedding.
Yes,
That was the obvious choice.
it was.
Clearly.
And I have stated my regret. I have apologized profusely.
You've apologized once. In exactly one time.
So are we talking about topics or like what's the
No, I think we're probably going to take a break here.
format of the show here as we get into the late evening hours?
There is none. I think we'll just pair a whole bunch of people up and they'll start talking about whatever they want to talk about.
Do you think the listeners like
I'm
this?
mostly paying
Probably
attention to
not.
the Royals who are
Probably
beating
not.
the Cubs right now.
They are. I don't care about the Cubs right now.
Okay.
I also heard earlier you're the most not disliked person.
Yeah,
I think that's correct.
I heard that too, which
Is
I
that
think
mean or is that nice?
well, it's definitely good. I mean, you don't if you're the
Do you want to be? Do you want to be the least?
well, but you could be
disliked?
you could
Who's
be
the most disliked?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
who's the most disliked?
I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way: who am I?
Probably
even,
Brett.
Probably Brett.
He was the most disliked.
Maybe Welch.
But I think they were also the most liked as well.
It's not Sorensen's not the most disliked.
No.
Bach's not the most. Tom's not the most disliked.
Bach might be the most liked.
That's true. Everybody had.
Everyone likes Bach.
Yeah, unanimously, people like Bach.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with your analysis, though. I didn't get hardly any hate on the text line
that's
or
all I
on
got on the
Twitter
text
or
line.
nothing like that.
People loved me.
Over what? What did you say or what did you do
Nothing.
that people hated you about?
I'm apparently just an easy target. Like Brett would open the show after Cubs games and say, "All right, if you're listening, call Snow the B word. Let us know."
That's right.
So then people just went with it.
But doesn't that just make Brett look like a B word in like?
Well, one would think.
Yeah.
One would think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting topic because, like, Sorensen and I, when we did the show together, we would argue quite a bit. But I guess I don't know. Like, I don't think Sorensen got much hate either. Like, our show was just likable. I guess would you say that, or it was like
Well,
not dislikable?
Here's the trick. I think Nick and Rico are learning this right now. Have an hour show. If you have an hour show, no one can
Not
ever
enough time
get
to
sick
hate
of
you.
you. Yeah.
Because you don't run out. Yeah. You don't
No one can
overdo
ever
it.
get
You don't
sick.
overstay your welcome.
Yes.
The 4 hours will do it to you.
The 4
At
hour.
some point, you're going to say
Yeah.
something stupid.
People who've had 4 hour shows are among the most hated.
I actually think that I think 2 hours is the sweet spot. I think 1 hour is a little too short because when I did the show with Sorensen, it was 1 hour when we started, and I always thought that it was too
Wasn't
short.
enough.
You'd get through something and you had a guest in the middle segment, and then by the time you got to the last segment, you were running out of time. You were running behind the clock. It was over, and you had stuff to say, but you didn't have enough time to actually say it. And there's a lot of times when I thought, man, like I wrote up this great show, had all these great points written down, these things I wanted to say, these stats I wanted to roll out, and you couldn't get to it. And then we expanded it to 2 hours later.
It helped.
Yeah, I thought that was like perfect because even that was short enough where you didn't run out of stuff to say.
Yeah.
But you had enough to stretch it. I think Tuesday. Yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah, we had the 3-man show 2 hour.
I think that was the most liked show.
It may have been.
3-man show between you guys.
It may have been.
I am a huge fan of 3-man radio.
Yeah.
Like
it's fun. It's easy. It's fun.
What I always said was it just always created this dynamic where you always had a 2-on-1. It'd always be you, me, or Sorensen. One of us would say something, the other two would look at each other
completely
and just say, "Are you kidding? Did you just say that? You idiot!"
Who got ganged up on the most on the 3-man morning take?
I didn't listen to it all that much, and I can tell you without
Easily
a doubt it's
Jake.
Jake.
Easily
Without
Jake.
question.
Well, Jake said the most ridiculous stuff.
He still does.
Yeah.
That's why we love him.
Okay, let's go through some of the ridiculous things Jake said.
Yeah.
On that show.
What do
And he's still at it now, by the way.
What do you got?
Well, the one that we always go back to is the Frank Gore.
yeah.
Frank Gore's injury.
That's where I was going to go to.
What?
Yeah. Frank Gore got injured.
Well, there are things that are ridiculous, and there are things that are just flat out
False.
wrong.
Frank
And
Gore got
that's
injured
just-
one time,
And then Jake was
Snow,
like, he's
Snow,
injured
just
prone.
for context, this is how this went down. We were talking about, like NFL players, and I think it was like maybe a fantasy section, or it was like a ranking of like, NFL running backs, and somehow Frank Gore got brought up, and Jake was anti-Frank Gore, and so his argument was that he was injury prone. And I remember, like, it's one of those things where
Let me check that out.
somebody says something and you don't have the evidence like in front of you to refute it, but your brain is saying is like no, like you're thinking like, okay, when has he missed a game? When has that ever been a problem? And you're coming up with nothing, right? And so during the I remember saying on the air, I was like, I got to look this up. I'll come back to you after the break. So in the break, I'm like looking it up. And I all I type in is Frank Gore injury prone on Google, and the first thing that comes up is this article that says, "Is Frank Gore the least injury prone running back of all time?" And then it details that it said like, okay, Frank Gore, bell cow running back, hasn't missed a game in, I think it was like 6 seasons. And then it was like, the average NFL running back misses 7, I don't know what it was, like 5, 6, 7, something like that, games a season. And he hadn't missed a single one in 6.
It was almost amazing how wrong it was.
That's just something he just said and hoped he was right.
Yeah, and that happens, but it was amazing.
It's live radio.
You're generally not that wrong. You can normally explain.
It was exactly
you can normally
wrong.
explain away why you say something.
Rico's done that a few times. Rico's the new person who gets thrown under the bus the most.
Okay.
Which
rightfully so.
Just because he just says
He's
stuff.
the
And
new
it's like,
guy
we
on the
gotta
block.
check this out. Though, well, were you there or was that Tab for the Maria Taylor one?
I think that was probably Tab.
Okay.
Well,
other co-hosts.
I don't know that. What's the Maria Taylor story?
All right. So the College Game Day was coming into town. And I don't know, we were talking about Maria Taylor or something like that.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And we were like, I don't remember exactly how it ended up, but Rico said, "Did you know?" He came on the air unprovoked and said, "Did you know?"
Oh no, this was me. I know where you're going.
Did you know that Maria? Yeah, it had to have been you because coming to your city.
It was.
Big and rich.
Did you know that Maria Taylor never played a sport in college?
We both looked at each other.
Wait, you said that?
No, I didn't. Rico did. And Connor and I both looked at each
And
other.
I was like, hold on.
I'm pretty sure she was very good.
I'm pretty sure she was excellent.
She was an All-American in 2 sports.
Good. Wrong twice.
It's incredible. Rico's just texted me that she had 2 Wikipedias. No, she has 1. There's just another person named Maria Taylor.
Oh boy,
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's that might top Soren's. That might be the best I've ever heard.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, that's wrong twice.
The thing is, we said it right away.
He just like, guys, listen up. I got a fact for you.
She's like 6'2", has never played a sport in her
I know
life
this sounds amazing, but she doesn't play sports
anymore.
Ridiculous.
All right, what do you guys want to do next? Would any of you like to stay and then pick another co-host, or like, do you want to just mix some new people in here?
Get some new people in here.
Yeah.
I think
All right,
I think I saw Gaskins and
right.
Bogus. Bogus was on a second ago.
Bogus is definitely no. Bogus hasn't been on yet.
Yeah, get them on here.
Gaskins and Bogus. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get them next.
Paging John Gaskins and Jake Bogus, come to the radio studio, please, and we'll be back with more next.